Hey y'all, my name's Gary if you don't know me. Just checking in, kind of been having it on my brain lately to start, you know, vlogging if you will, about life, random things, things that I think about, things you might think about. Just kind of want to fill you in about me. My name's Gary. I'm 24 years old, live in Maryland. That's probably all y'all really need to know. Kind of just want to fill you in what I've been going through the past couple months. Back in May, my 67-year-old father had a pretty catastrophic episode with his congestive heart failure, pretty much what that means is that his heart doesn't function the way it's supposed to. So what happens is it struggles, he fills up with fluid and begins to die essentially. So he was living with my sister for the past couple years. That's a whole nother story. She came home May 22nd and he was unresponsive, not breathing. She thought he was, basically dead. I was working. She gave me a call, said, hey, dad's unresponsive. Having him picked up, going to the hospital. So, hop in my truck. I, called my girlfriend at the time, tell her, call my mom. Actually, I called mom first. Basically told her, I was like, hey, I think I'm losing dad. So it's crazy, that's stuff that, you never really prepare yourself for, even though my dad's been battling this disease for most of my life. Had triple bypass surgery about 15, 16 years ago. So obviously I was pretty young at that time, but still at 24, almost 25, still not something really ever could prepare myself for. So I get to the hospital, everybody's upset. My sister's upset. I'm upset. And it takes a while for us to be able to go back and see him. By the time we do get back to see him, basically he's in an induced coma. They're breathing for him. He's on full life support. So crazy stuff. You never want to see anybody like that, especially your parents, anything like that. So real hard to swallow there. Doctors were asking us if he would want to be on life support, if he would want to have him pull the plug, this and that. Called family. Family came. Doctors basically thought he was probably brain dead, a vegetable. Didn't know how long he had been without oxygen or anything like that. So, that was really rough. They moved him out of the emergency room into ICU that night. Still on full life support. And, man, I think I probably know my dad just about as good as anybody when I tell you that he's tough, he's a fighter. And my knowledge in that, just knowing him and being confident in him, I just knew that he was gonna, fight for his life. And I just somehow, even in those moments, still had that hope and that positivity in my heart that he was gonna pull through this and come back and, not have brain trauma and, no organ damage or anything like that. Just, sitting there at the foot of his bed talking to him and rubbing his feet, tickling his feet because, he hates that. And just getting little twitches here and there. And, family and nurses are like, that's probably just, his natural body, reaction, yada, yada, yada. But, I'm thinking to myself, like, nah, like, he's going to pull through this. So, through the night on life support, into the next day, got in there, and just mind you, sorry, this past couple months have been kind of crazy, so if I get a day, blurred in, mixed in with another one, just, bear with me. But, next day, just being there all day long, my work took care of me. Didn't even have to worry about it. Supervisors, all that took care of me. So, hey, be with your dad. That's most important. Which is awesome because, for me, I used to be a, body technician, and, I used to left that, and then I was a employee at Home Depot, and then, a couple other little jobs, but never had a career like mine now. I work for Geico, where it's just like they took care of me. They're like, nah, be with your family. That's what's important. So, that was really relieving for me. And, just being there with Dad by his side and saying, talking to him, Dad, I love you, man. Like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Family coming in, coming out, all this stuff. And then, finally, I don't know if it was that same day or it was that next day, just started kind of messing with him, shaking him up a little bit, kind of doing stuff like that. And then, getting little, glimpses of hope he would crack his eye or, something like that. And then, one of his doctors, the doctor that was in the ICU doctor that was with him in the emergency room, came up and was like, kind of smacking him. No, not smacking him. He wasn't smacking him. Disregard that. He wasn't smacking. He, pinched him, though, I think. And Dad really reacted. He got up and, tried to, knock the dude's lights out. So, that was amazing. And that was kind of when he came to. And slowly but surely, started looking at me, looking at my grandma, looking at nurses, smiling, giving thumbs up, that kind of stuff. And, it's so awesome because, I didn't know, we didn't know if he was going to come back, but, obviously had that hope, and, had all my church fam and my friends and my family and everybody praying for my dad and all that stuff, through social media or, coming to visit with them or just, in the silence of their own presence. Just so much love was poured out for him. And he woke up and, his faculties were a little slow and his responses were a little slow, but he was alive, which was awesome. And then, fast forward a couple weeks, he was in ICU for a couple weeks. They finally took the life support out. He was breathing on his own. Got him moved to Kernan Rehab Center, which is an acute rehab, which is supposed to be more in depth. 3 hours a day of rehab instead of just an hour and a half. So it's awesome. Super excited about that. Obviously looking forward to him getting walking. It's been a couple weeks since he had walked. Getting in rehab. We kind of went to Kernan, and to be completely honest with you, I was pretty disappointed with that place. Just the level of care just wasn't there, and I thought the rehab seemed like they weren't really pushing him, kind of like I was hoping. And he had some little accidents and kind of stuff, and they were just to me, it seemed like they were doing as little as possible. So what ended up happening at Kernan is he ended up having a little bit of episode where pretty much his body was filling up with fluid, and they thought it was just him being constipated, and his oxygen levels really dropped. So they sent him to St. Agnes Hospital. I was at work. They called me, hey, your dad's oxygen dropped. He's going back to the hospital. So it's oh, great. Back in the hospital. But what I can tell you is that him going to St. Agnes Hospital in Baltimore, was probably the biggest blessing that we had, because as soon as he got there, he had great care. He was, the doctors seemed like they were on point. They were friendly. They were knowledgeable. They were talking to us, letting us know what was going on. And he was there for a couple weeks, and they really fixed him up big time, which was just, awesome. Got his meds right. Got, just everything seemed to kind of click there. And then, fast forward a couple weeks, then he was getting moved into a skilled rehab center, which is essentially, it's just your regular rehab. Like, not for addicts, obviously, but because there was some confusion on social media about that. But I promise you, my father's not an alcohol or a drug addict. He's just a elderly man that has health problems, unfortunately. But got moved into rehab. We chose Glen Burnie Health and Rehab off of Furnace Branch Road, where he's been for, I don't know, a couple weeks, several weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And my man is popping out of bed like he's 18. He's getting out of bed. He is walking. He's talking. He's not slow. He's sharp. He's funny. He busted a joke on my mom the other day. Had us all rolling. So, Dad's doing really good. Unfortunately, while he was in rehab, his housing situation fell through. So, currently in the midst of waiting for some applications to hopefully get approved so we can, get his first apartment that's all his own, so he can be on his own for the first time in like 5 or 6 years. So that's, that's exciting. That's good stuff. And, I'm so blessed. And I should have known this. Like, I pretty much have been blessed my whole life. It's just like, looking back on May 22nd, it's like, I could have lost my dad, you know what I mean? It's like, but just, he's such a fighter. B, so much prayer, so much love poured out into him and to me and to the family. And C, it's just, so good to be able to be there with Dad every single day and just pour my heart into him and make him know that, even when nobody else is there for him, that I'm there for him. Because listen, y'all, we only get one set of parents, and fortunately for me, even though my parents are split up and have been for about 20 years now, I still got two parents. So I'm gonna appreciate my parents every minute I get with them. So I guess my point through all of this little video blog, vlog, whatever you'll have it, just don't take life for granted. And don't take your family for granted or friends. If you're like me, you're more of a family person, and, I'm not such a friend person. Like, I have close friends, but those close friends are like, hit them up like every couple months. Hey, you alive? Cool, good. Like, that's good. But, just don't take nobody for granted, man. Just pray, man. Pray all the time. You're never too cool, too tough, too prideful. You're never too banged up. When you're going through life, just pray, man. Just pray and surround yourself with the people that you love. And that's all you can do. I'm a testament of this. Just keep on fighting for the people that you love. And make sure that they know you love them. Show them that every single day. And I appreciate y'all listening. Even if I only get 2 people to listen to this, it's plenty for me. I don't really know why I'm doing this. I just kind of wanted to chat. So if this helps one person, if 2 people listen to this, that's more for me. I appreciate it, you guys. Maybe next time I'll talk about cars or something in my truck, stuff like that, more fun stuff. But thanks, y'all.